Good morning. Welcome to Gimpy's History Corner, called Gimpy by my family. This is Scott, my youngest son, and his girlfriend Casey. When I went to visit them sometime in the past year, we went to Teddy Roosevelt's house in Oyster Bay, Long Island. And he was a big game hunter, and here they are posing in front of big elephant tusk right there, and a water buffalo head, I guess you call it. He has mounted trophies of all the African elephants and other animals he's killed. He was a great conservationist as far as national parks, but boy did he like to kill animals and mount them on his wall. Kind of the paradoxes of history. Okay, we're on video 150. It's kind of a milestone, 150. And this one I entitled Energy Monopolies. Energy Natural Monopolies. That's what they're called. America's energy monopolies emerged because utilities were treated as natural monopolies. Companies that controlled generation, transmission, and distribution of energy in a given region. Early oil and electricity industries consolidated under giants like Standard Oil and regional utility companies. And government regulation often reinforced these monopolies until deregulation efforts in the late 20th century tried to introduce deregulation. Of course, the oil industry started in 1859 in Pennsylvania with the discovery of oil. We've all learned that in social studies class. John D. Rockefeller consolidated refineries and pipelines, negotiating favorable railroad rates to dominate the industry. Rockefeller became probably the richest man in the world at that time. By the late 19th century, Rockefeller had one of the most famous monopolies in history, Standard Oil. Electric power utilities of the late 1800s and 1900s, started by Thomas Edison, another famous American. Electricity generation and distribution required massive infrastructure because duplicating this infrastructure was inefficient. Utilities were considered natural monopolies. Electric companies and gas companies we're talking about now. Local governments granted exclusive service territories to utility companies, often regulated by state commissions to prevent price gouging. Government regulation of monopolies. Public utility commissions allowed one company per region to handle generation, transmission, and distribution. In my area, we are managed by Duke Energy. The Duke family, who made their millions on tobacco in North Carolina, are now into energy. This system ensured reliability but eliminated consumer choice. Customers had no options. So it makes sense. Electric lines. Today you've got internet lines running underground or on the poles, and there seems to be some competition there. But electric, no. Gas, no. The deregulation era of the 1970s to 2000, rising energy costs and political pressure led to energy deregulation in some states. Deregulation separated generation from distribution, allowing customers in certain regions to choose their electric suppliers. I've never lived in such a place, so I don't know how that worked. What are the big utility regions for our electrical grid? Well, you have three. You've got the Eastern Interconnection. That's everything east of the Rocky Mountains. And they make up 70% of the United States electric demand. The next one is the Western Interconnect. That's from the Rocky Mountains to the Pacific Ocean, and integrates a large amount of hydroelectric power from all those Hoover Dam and Grand Coulee and all those others. And also they have more renewable energy options out there than we in the Eastern do. Then Texas has their own. Texas Interconnection, independent of the other two grids, which make it vulnerable during extreme weather, which we've seen in the news. When it gets super cold, they don't do too well, or when it gets super hot. So Texas has always been kind of independent, you know. So I'm not sure how that happened. They just used their influence and weight to say, no, we'll do it ourselves. No, thank you. And I think the federal government has tried to force them into that, into the Western grid or Eastern grid, and they said, no, we'll be okay. Natural gas is primarily the main way that electric companies create electricity nationally. East has more nuclear and coal and growing wind power. Alternative energy. East can handle high levels of wind and solar, but face transmission bottlenecks. That's their excuse for not doing more wind and solar. Transmission bottlenecks. So it must be something about the grid in the eastern section that isn't as good as the west. The west is rapidly adding solar and hydro. That's the big alternatives in the west, the solar and hydro. And Texas, that independent one, leads the nation in wind and solar growth. So the West and Texas are the best as far as alternative energy. The East is the slowest, and they say it's because of transmission bottlenecks. So I don't know if the federal government can help with that, but we'll see. And of course, just like everything else, there have been scandals. I already told you about the first energy scandal in Ohio, where state legislators were bribed to pass legislation to help the energy companies. They got caught. And ComEd in Illinois was also a big bribery scandal. Politicians went to prison. Energy companies had to pay major fines, give money back to customers. And the legislators were convicted of bribery and conspiracy. So anywhere there's money, there's a chance of fraud and conspiracy. So electric is a natural monopoly run by companies. Gas is a natural monopoly run by companies, and both are monitored by public utility commissions. Water systems are typically municipal systems. If you live in a country, you've got a well. A lot of people have wells still. But in the city, you have a water system, municipal water system. So you have electric, gas, and water. In the places I've lived, typically your water bill is combined with your sewer bill. Water and sewer is also municipal. And in the country, instead of having a sewer system, you'll have a what's it called? Is it a cesspool? That's not it. Darn it, I can't think of it. But it's the thing in the ground has ways for the sewage to break down and then get into the soil. Septic tank. There you go, septic tank. So municipal is different than country as far as water and sewer. But in the cities, you pay your water and sewer bill together. And lots of times trash pickup is with that same one. Trash pickup typically is a contract with a private company. And sometimes you actually have municipal garbage trucks working for the city. And rural areas, I think, contract with companies as well. The company I contract with for my trash pickup is Republic. They do a pretty good job, I think. Okay, so those are the natural energy monopolies. Electric and gas. Water and sewer are municipal or private in the rural areas, and sewer is municipal as well. Trash pickup is either a municipal duty or contracted out to a private company. Okay, so government and private business tries to work together to provide these services to us. And once in a while, there are scandals. Okay, this is Monday. Have a great week, everybody. Thank you.